rock and roll. Hoochie coo. Turn Jeff's frown upside down.
I'm going to try to kill these mallards while you're there.
You go ahead. It's probably the music that scared him away. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom, and welcome to the Big Honker Podcast. I'm Jeff Stanfield. This podcast brought to you by Alpha Outdoor Specialties, home of the Stanfield stool.
Correct.
I am with the world famous Andy Shaver,
Also
and
correct.
in the duck blind, live,
The best ever.
the best goose guy that ever worked for me ever. In the blind from Fergus Falls, Minnesota, Mr. Dave Reese. Hello, Dave. How are you doing, bud?
How you doing?
This is becoming our yearly tradition, catching you in the duck blind.
Was it this time last year?
It was.
About this time last year? I don't know if it was this exact time last year.
I'll look later. But yeah, it was right around the same time. So given that it was mid-October, how is hunting compared to last year?
You know what? It's been, opening was a little slow. I mean, we did all right, but weren't shooting limits by no means. It's been picking up actually pretty steadily. Minus today. Last weekend we did really well. The redheads and the cans and a lot of the divers started showing up, and seeing a lot of pintails, mallards, teal. Birds are starting to move down from up in Canada. We're shooting some northern birds.
Because, I mean, really, when you look at it, there has not been a big major system to move anything, at least not down here. Like, it's going to be 90 degrees tomorrow.
Yeah, and it was 81 here yesterday, but it's 40, probably 42 here now.
I think next week is going to be our first major. It's going to get down highs in the upper 50s, low 60s.
Yeah,
I think one of the lows one night is going to be in the 30s.
Yeah, 59.
Yeah, we're supposed to see like high 20s next week.
All right, that'll get
as our low.
Now, I read today on a post, a guy was talking, he said, going to be the grand migration next week.
Oh boy.
And I don't know if it is or it's not, but
you know what? He ain't far off.
I mean, it's that time. And if you're going to be in the 20s, it's going to be 59 here for a high, I think, on Monday and Tuesday with a low of like 36 or 37, which is nippy weather for us this time of year. New York is going to be where we're at, is going to be the highs around 40 and 32 every day. And I mean, so it's a big, massive cold front.
It is.
And I haven't looked at Montana to see what they're like, but I know they're going to be cold. But it's that time of year.
Yeah. Our water's starting to cool down finally. And that's what's helping us. It's actually, I just started last night seeing mallards start hitting the fields.
Oh, really?
And otherwise, I've been watching them for 2 weeks, hoping to shoot them over dry land. And they haven't left the water. It's been too nice. Water's too warm.
Bugs are still going around and all that stuff, because that's what they feed on most of the time.
We're finally killing all the bugs off now.
Right.
I saw Minot next Monday and Tuesday is going to be the lows in the mid 40s, so they're really not getting cold yet. I mean, I don't know what the average temperature is I don't know if that's normal or it's above.
Right. But I mean, because the moon's still pretty big. We just had a full moon a couple days ago. So you get that with this big north wind and a little bit of cold weather, and it's a start. Definitely, it's better than what we've been having.
Well, from what I'm hearing from me all the way up into Canada is lots of birds.
Yes. We talked to Zach Meyer yesterday, and they went to Canada for 4 or 5 days. I don't know, but they piss pounded the speckle bellies wherever they were, and that's something that I'm seeing is everybody shooting a lot of specks.
Yeah, Saskatchewan probably. A lot of Saskatchewan kills a lot of them.
I just wonder what that's going to do to us.
I haven't seen any here, but I've seen a few snows.
Is that uncommon?
Yeah, we don't get a lot of them. But I've seen 15, 20 different snows, I guess, in the last week or two. I'd say the birds that I was shooting on the weekend were 5 days earlier than they normally are here.
Right. Did you ever keep
the birds that we're cleaning have November plumage?
Really?
Which, I mean, like they're thick. Their feathers are like an inch thick in November. That usually don't happen till November, and we're shooting birds that have that kind of feather thickness already. So I don't know, maybe it's going to be a hard winter. The birds are kind of telling us that, but might be an early fall or early cool down where birds will roll. You guys may do really well if we have a hard winter up here.
I'm hoping so.
That would be so nice. I don't have any faith in the weather anymore at all.
I just want to be able to use all my clothes. Like, fuck, I've been buying this nice shit for years, and it's just sitting in a closet collecting dust and sitting on a hanger. That would be the nice part.
Yeah, you got boys coming up, Andy. They'll inherit it. Like mine steal all mine now.
Yeah, your boys are. You got the one. He's pretty much bigger than you, though. I don't know. He can steal too much more of your shit.
Oh yeah, I always tell him he might be bigger. He might not. Probably won't be meaner.
I don't know. I'd hate to piss him off. You're gonna have to bring your A game. You'll see. You hear the Toby Keith song. I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was.
They make a pill for everything now. Don't you know that?
He was a big old corn-fed kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I come out of that elevator.
No, he does. You know what? My boy's been doing really good. He's been having a hell of a year in football, and God, I think he averages probably 3 sacks a game. He's been doing really well.
Is he a senior this year or a junior?
No, he's just a junior.
Yeah, I come out of the elevator and he goes, "Are you Jeff Stanfield?"
Who did I piss off?
Do I owe you some money, son?
Depends on who you are. If I'm Jeff Stanfield.
No, that fat bastard just left.
If you see him, I'm looking for him also.
Now, your youngest son is ate up with waterfowl hunting, isn't he?
My middle
one? Yeah.
Oh, my God, yeah. He's got it as bad as I ever did, Jeff, back when I was a kid.
I can tell. He messages me sometimes. He's all about it. You can definitely tell that.
Oh, yeah.
So
there's definitely some he's coming a long ways. That kid can really blow a call pretty good now. Better than most people can. So
is he gonna be a calling contest guy?
He might. He talked about it at one point in time, and Josh Mason, he's been getting back into it too now. So and his boy is too. So I don't know. You know me, I was never really into that, but I don't know. If he needed a partner for doubles or something like that, you might even see me in it again. I don't know.
I'll tell you what, if Josh Mason, the kid that worked for me 20 years ago, 20 years ago,
98 to like 2001.
But I promise you, if Josh would have walked by, if me and him were stuck in the elevator, I would have never known that was Josh Mason. He got old. Old on me.
Yeah, okay.
Because he was the kid when he was here. He was 19 to 21, I think.
He was 18.
He worked here.
He graduated high school and come to work for us. And
I was a kid when you started there.
Well, I wasn't much older than you were when we started this at the time. So
I know you were a kid too.
But yeah.
Back when we could hunt off a white bucket.
That's right. Yeah.
Just sit in the field on white buckets.
I would not have recognized him. I come back, this older guy looks kind of familiar.
Oh man.
And it was Josh. And I was like, gosh almighty. But I would have never recognized him. But he learned to hunt from you guys. It was you and your brother. And Dave Gertz that worked for y'all come up and worked for us good. And Johnny Reichert. And those were really good times. We killed a lot of birds, lots of geese in those days.
Yeah. You know what? It was a lot of fun.
You still
might have been a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun.
You still got that old beater Chevy you used to have with the rusted out floorboards?
Well, it's probably still in Weiner.
You know what? Next time I go through there, I've got a dove field over there. I'm going to go by and look. That truck, I rode with you to the lodge one day.
I guarantee you there ain't nothing but a block there if there's a motor left in it, because there was a few people that lived across the street and they were always eyeballing it up. And I think the year after I left, Daniel said the radiator, the alternator, and maybe the carburetor got ripped off it.
Well, I can tell you that
By somebody in town there. And you know what? That thing didn't owe me nothing after 12 years of guiding out of it.
I rode in that thing one time to the lodge with you, and this is no shit. I was scared to death. The floorboard was rusted out on that son of a bitch.
Me, I know.
You rode in it too, huh?
Well, yeah, fucking on the day that it snowed.
You probably had snow shooting.
No,
was it snow shooting out?
More snow. Andy was standing in a foot of snow inside the truck.
I'll never forget that. The first time I rode, I was like,
fucking,
are you sure we're not going to fall through the bottom of this? I do not want to die by falling through the bottom of a
not
pickup.
Not how I want to go. At least the day that it snowed, I would have had a little bit of cushion whenever I fell on the asphalt. There was 3 foot of snow that was going to block me.
Hey, Jeff, it only had one brake on it. So, you know, and it wasn't on that side. So that's what that hole was for. Flintstone style.
Oh, those are some good times. That day of the snows, just so everybody know what we're talking about, we had a snowstorm one night. And we had
big one.
15, 16 inches of snow one night. And I always had a rule at our house. If our school was going to start late, they didn't count our kids' absence. So I told Michelle, I said, they shouldn't have to go to school. It's a free day so they shouldn't go. If they start school late, then we're not, the kids don't have to go to school. So the night before it started snowing that day, and it snowed a lot. So I told her, I said, they don't have to go. Well, all the boys want to go hunt noise. So Andy was going to hunt with Dave. And at that time, the guides, I rented the house across the street. That's where the guides lived. So Dave was leaving at 4:30 in the morning. I heard him fire up the old truck.
You could hear it all over town.
I got up to make sure Andy was up, and I looked out the front door at our house, and our Christmas decorations, where you could only see the top of them. I was like, holy fuck, it snowed a bunch last night. And Michelle's like, oh, do you think they'll be okay? I said, fuck yeah, Dave's a freaking guy from Minnesota driving in snow and shit. Ain't no big deal to him.
It was flurries to me.
But y'all had an epic hunt. Didn't y'all shoot out like real quick?
Yeah, like it's one that I'll never forget. And I don't know if it's one of those things that I've made better in my mind just as I've gotten older and I was so young, but like from what I remember, it won for the record books. Just from the way we hid, just everything.
There wasn't really anything we could have done to keep them out of the decoys that day.
Yes. Like it was on just a peanut field. And I mean, we didn't even get into the field. We hunted on the road because we couldn't drive into the field because the snow was so high.
Yeah, we didn't know back then you could hunt on the edge like we do now.
That's what we did. Like we got those big Magnum decoys and just kind of threw some of them out in front of the guys and then just told them to hide. There was a snowdrift at that time.
They really weren't hiding, Andy. They all had every color of the rainbow hat on. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
We had to find a hat for every one of them, and none of them were camel.
Because they weren't prepared for it. They came all the way from Dallas, and they weren't ready for what was coming.
Let me set this.
I don't know if anybody was for that.
Let me set the stage before that hunt started. That morning before, me and Dad and Matt Reagan went duck hunting up north on one of our ranches, and we had a pretty good duck shoot. And it was early in the year because all the guides weren't here and we weren't running a full bore yet. We were fixing to start, and this freak snowstorm came, and it started raining and snowing that afternoon. And by dark, the ground was white, and we had 2 or 3 inches of snow. Well, me and Matt and Zach were going to go, and Dad were going to go hunt that Bettis water hole again and hunt it. And we got out there that morning. It was snowed on the ground so much we couldn't even find the water hole. Mm-hmm. And there was electric fences down, cattle out of work. But that guy, I called him the night before, and I said, listen, it's starting to snow more and more. So it's like at 2 or 3 o'clock. And I said, I'm not going to have my ladies come to the lodge to do dinner. I said, it's going to be bad. It's going to keep snowing. I said, do y'all want to move your hunt? The guy got all mad with me. He's like, listen here, I got people flying in. Listen, we'll hunt. If you can get here, we'll hunt. But we're not going to have dinner tonight. You need to eat somewhere on the road. Then he got mad at me. They got to the lodge about 11 o'clock at night because they couldn't get there because the roads were so bad. And so then the next morning after the hunt, he goes, boy, you weren't lying when you told me it was bad. No, I'm not going to try to move a hunt or cancel a hunt. I lose money that way. I'm just trying for the safety.
Right.
And if they wouldn't have got here by 10 o'clock at night, they would not have made it. I mean, they were lucky to get here when they did.
How did they get out? Were they here for a couple days?
They ended up paying and staying and hunting another day.
Oh.
Because they couldn't get out. And what happens with us is the day after the snowstorm or 2 days, it's miserable because we stick out like a sore thumb because it's bright and it's white and you can't hide hardly at all. Is that Is that very true? Do you think?
Yes. Yeah. Don't you think, Dave? Once that snow starts melting, that's when it gets difficult.
Yeah. Sometimes I guess it just, when you dig stuff up, it's twice as bad, because the dirt's that much blacker than the snow. So yeah, it makes it tough to hide. And that's a lot of it,
That's 90% of the hunt.
So what have you?
If you've taught me anything,
what have you What have you killed this morning? Anything?
A Canada goose, and that's been about it. We've maybe had some missed opportunities, not paying attention. Typical. I guess we could have shot some teal. I mean, I've seen a few ducks, but they haven't really started moving yet this morning.
Have you seen any?
I have there's got to be, I don't know, 500 to 1,000 on the north end of the lake, and I've only maybe seen 20 or 30 birds total that have been in the air.
Are you shooting blue wing?
They just haven't moved yet. It's been kind of weird. Usually by now they kind of start moving. I figured they were waiting for the podcast and they'd start flying when I'd get on the phone, because that's what happened last time.
Are you shooting? Are there still some blue wings up there? Or is it all green wing teal?
No, there's some big. I've been seeing some like 20 to 40 groups of blue wings, and but there've been a few greenies mixed in with them.
That surprises me that y'all got blue wings.
The redheads and the cans just started showing up. I've been seeing quite a few pennies. I don't see a lot of pennies, but I've been, I've had two bunches this morning I've seen so far.
How many decoys you hunting over right now?
How many? 300-400 maybe.
No shit.
Ooh.
Do you leave him there? He's watching something.
Yeah.
You got ducks around you right now?
I move stuff around, and some of them are rafts. I got like a bunch of them decoy rafts where I can throw a dozen to 16 on each raft and one anchor. And I can move that around for stops and lines and make it look like birds just landed in the set. And you know how divers bunch up a lot when they first land or whatever, or give a different look, more realism.
Are you hunting private, or is this a public place?
Private.
It's private, so you can leave your shit out. Nobody's going to jack with it.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, crazy Minnesota boys. You don't want to mess with us.
Did you always hunt divers as a kid, or was this something that you had to learn whenever you started working at this place?
No, when I was pretty young, I mean, I was probably 12, 13 years old, going up to Bowstring and other northern Minnesota, and we were hunting big water divers. But it was just ducks to us. I mean, we knew there was a difference between puddlers and divers, but diver hunting's usually cold, wet, miserable, and it's never dry. I mean, unless you're like what I'm doing today. But I've spent 30 years putting this place in, and so I don't have to be cold, wet, or miserable while I diver hunt.
It's not a good long plan to be cold, wet, and miserable.
No, you know what? It takes all the fun out of the hunt when you're cold, wet, and miserable.
I mean, it really does. People need to figure that out.
Well, it ain't that bad for you guys. When you start at 50 degrees and it gets to 70 during the day, it isn't so bad. You don't usually get too cold, wet, and miserable.
No, but that makes it even worse because I'm not accustomed to it. So when those days do happen, I'm like, oh, this is extra
when I
fucking
was your
miserable.
age, I'd show up down there. I'd have to wear shorts the first month.
Well,
while I was setting up,
there's a lot of days that I'm in a t-shirt.
Yeah. I'd wear shorts and that while I set up for that hour and a half, and then I'd put my bibs on over that, and that'd be about perfect.
Yeah, if you could just figure, the only thing you need is just sand not to go down your ass crack. So throw bibs on right before the hunt, and you're golden.
Yep.
Pretty much. What gun do you shoot? Did you ever shoot the original Super Black Eagle?
Yep.
Do you still have one?
Yep, I got an old H&K. Probably my favorite. I got an old and original M120. That's what probably is my favorite.
Oh, you got an original M1?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I got a couple of them.
Oh yeah.
See?
It's
pretty.
You got it out there with you. That.
Oh yeah, that's
that
my
fucker
baby.
is beat up.
Oh come on! It's only shot a couple bullets. Yeah, that's the timber pattern. That tells you how old it is.
When we had Zach Meyer on, that's what he said he shot. He shoots the original Super Black Eagle, and I got to looking online last night. You can't even find them anymore. There's nowhere to be found. Not on, obviously not on eBay, but
I got one in my safe. I haven't shot for 2 years.
But one of my buddies, his dad says those are the best that Benelli ever did. Better than the 2 and the 3.
Oh, the H&Ks are definitely bulletproof. Really? Oh, I've had that one. I've had it for 20 years. I got to do some reworking on the trigger because it's been shot so much. But most of them years, I shot a Benelli Nova down there.
Yeah, I mean,
because the autos, I mean, that sand down there tears them up.
Oh, trust me.
If you didn't want to clean your gun every day, you shot a pump.
Trust me, I know. I went out and I got the Maxxis 2, shiny new gun, beautiful, beautiful gun. Blake, who works for us, he used it one day and it was windy as shit, and we were set up on an edge row, and it was sandy as hell. And there was a lot of grease in that gun when I got it. I didn't clean it all year, and then right before New Year, Blake took it out in a sandstorm, and that grease in that gun was like a magnet to that sand. I mean, it was just, and I thought, oh God. And like he went to take the shells out, and it was just fucking grinding. Just.
Was it grease or was it the Cosmoline it was packed?
Well,
in?
yeah, the packing shit. And then anyway, so I cleaned it, and it hadn't fucking shot right since. So I messaged Browning, finally got a hold of somebody, and they said, yeah, you got to oil the hell out of it. And I'm like, motherfucker, that is not going to be good out here.
Yeah, no, sand's not. I mean, like on our Benellis, we'd put like a drop on each rail and then one on the ejector. And I make 3 drops of oil is all we ever ran in ours. The drier you ran them, the better they were.
So I've got an old Nova at the house that I got sitting around. I might clean that up, and that might just be my bruiser gun. I don't have to feel bad about beating the shit out of it, because the Maxxis too. It's pretty. It's a pretty gun.
Yeah, it's a blind gun.
Yeah, yes.
It's not a field gun.
It's something that you look good showing up in.
We're setting preferences now to what guns we use in the blinds and now into the field. It's kind of like waders. I don't like that word anymore. They're man pants.
They're
now,
man pants? Waders
man pants. Yeah.
How'd you come up with that?
Go get, don't that sound better than go put your waders on?
Go put your man pants on?
Go put your man pants on.
You would get more people to wear them. You wouldn't have as many people showing up without them. That's the thing out here. We draw straws to see who's going to wear the waders the next day. Most of the time, I lose.
Yeah, I do.
But if
too. But I don't really mind them. The new waders are pretty damn nice. I got to move this camera. It's starting to rain on me here.
Yeah, the new waders are very nice. Jeff's got him a nice pair of those shin gears, and whoo!
Here,
you could sleep in them.
I'll give you a picture of the set if you want. Yeah, here, can I spin this around? I'll just do it this way.
It sounds windy there.
It is windy.
Which, out of the north?
I'll give you the good side.
We can't really see much because the camera's not focusing because it's...
isn't it?
It focuses on you, not on this stuff.
It is windy, though.
Which way is the wind blowing? Out of the north?
Northwest, it is.
Migration day.
I got to find.
When y'all get y'all's first snow? In the next 2 weeks?
God, they're talking snow this next week up in Canada. I don't know if it's going to reach that far up here. But we're supposed to get our weather's going to change. I think we have our fall, and it's going into our mid-fall now. We're half to 3/4 of the way out of our crops. Our crops are out.
Here's the problem we're going to have if things don't change. Peace River, Alberta, which is way up there, high 54 Wednesday, high 58 Sunday, high 54 next Thursday. They don't even have a day below freezing after today for 10 days.
Right.
And that's what's got me worried about stuff. As cold as it's going to get for us to be in the 50s on Monday and Tuesday is cool. That's cold for us for this time of year.
Yeah.
But it's going to be the same temperature our temperature Monday and Tuesday is going to be lower than it is in Peace River, Alberta.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, and that's crazy. And I'm going to look at Carrot River, and their temperatures are going to be, they got below freezing 2 days, and the rest of the time it's going to be above freezing, and the highs are going to be in the low 50s. Yeah. It's time for them to get a front where they're 25 or 30 degrees for the highs. And that's what we need. Is it rain I'm seeing now on you?
Yeah, that's what he said. He had to move his camera.
Yeah, it's raining on me.
What a beautiful morning.
It's a very ducky morning for not much duckiness going on.
Not much duckiness.
And I've seen a few birds, but I'd figure they'd be just ripping through the decoys by now.
How many guys you got at camp right now?
I just got a couple friends up. They're on the end of the point, and we just thought it'd be a good day to go out and whack some cans and redheads, but haven't seen many yet.
I haven't asked you about somebody I hadn't thought of in a long time. John, what was the fireman's name from Shreveport that drove all over the country to go duck hunting in a day?
John Clark.
John Clark. What's he doing nowadays?
God, I think he's still in Shreveport. I don't know. It's been a few years since I talked to him, but he was, I think he still hunted all over the place, but he got into bass fishing or fishing of some sort. And I know he'd really been doing a lot of fishing. I'm sure I got 20 years ago, I think he retired from the Shreveport fire department. So
I mean, he would wake up and drive to California and go hunt for 2 days and come back and do a shift at the fire department and then drive to go to Minnesota or North Dakota and then come out here for 2 days. I've never known anybody in my life that traveled that much to duck hunt the way he did.
He did. He traveled a lot. He went all over the place. That's for sure.
I don't remember him.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
He shot a banded mallard with you one time.
He come down a couple times, didn't he?
He worked for me part-time a little bit. He fill in sometimes here and there. He's a nice guy. He was ate up with waterfowl hunting. I mean, ate up with it. Mags, like mags.
Yeah.
Very passionate. He wasn't married or nothing, was he, Dave?
No.
I think his marriage was
I don't think he ever got married.
Yeah,
I don't ever know if I ever even heard of him. Don't even remember him even having a girlfriend.
I think he was married to waterfowl hunting.
Pretty much.
I mean, he was
dogs,
yep,
waterfowl. I mean, he hunted a lot of different stuff, but he really loved waterfowl.
He was as passionate about it as anybody I've ever been around in my life when it come to that. I mean, but I'm serious.
Yeah, he was pretty serious about it most of the time.
Yeah, he was telling me one time we were talking in the office, and he goes, "Yeah," he said, "Out in California, we're just wearing them out." I saw you got some guys out there. Oh, I was there yesterday. Huh? No, you drove all night to get here to hunt, shoot some couple speckle bellies, and then going back to Shreveport, went to the fire station for a day, come back here and hunted a day or two, and then took off, went to California to hunt 2 more days and drive back. That's a long fucking drive.
Yeah. When will you switch to geese and go out into the fields? Just once all the crops come out?
What's that?
When will you switch to goose hunting and go out into the fields? Just when all your crops come out?
Yeah, or when I get sick of shooting ducks, I guess. We only get so many days to shoot the ducks, so I worry about the ducks more right away until about November, and then from November, December, I kind of switch gears and go more towards the geese. But I'll run them, a lot of times we'll have mallards right till Thanksgiving and even after that, but we can only usually hunt them till Thanksgiving.
So y'all,
and then we'll usually have lots after that.
So your season ends too early.
Yeah, I wish we had more time. Just, if we could hunt 365 days a year, that'd be all right with me.
But y'all's season though is still based on the stuff in the 30s and 40s when it would freeze up there and there was no ducks left. Nowadays, they could start your season later, and you could run clear till January 1st.
We could, and we'd shoot a lot of mallards, a lot of big, nice, tubby mallards. They're starting to just show up here now. I got one lake north of me over there last night. I suppose went from a couple hundred to probably 500 to 700 last night. So I mean, we're getting birds. I started watching them hit the fields for the first time last night. I don't know why they're not moving this morning, because they were everywhere last night flying around here.
That is interesting though. And that's what I was thinking whenever you were saying that your season cuts out too early. Like, it was based on, when they started setting these dates, it was based on everything freezing up north and pushing all the ducks out. And it's not that way anymore.
Yeah. Well, and then there's other ones that would say, well, we don't get a lot of chance to shoot the wood ducks or the teal. Well,
big whoop-de-doo.
We have an early teal season now, and our season still starts in September.
Right.
Which is great for shooting teal. But some of them birds probably hatched out 2 months ago.
Yeah.
I think that the federal government really was worried about the hunters and not just about making income off of stuff. And they wanted to fix things right. Teal season, like where we are, should open September, the second weekend in September, and should stay open until the middle of October. Because you're either going to have them or you don't. Because most of those blue-winged teal don't get hunted anyways. Most of them die of old age, which is 3. And dove season should open September 1st. Dove season should be open from September 1st through the end of February. It wouldn't make no difference on the dove numbers either.
Yeah, but I think that they have days. I think that they're bargained amount of days that you can hunt.
Well, no, I understand that, but I'm saying it wouldn't make any difference on the if you're worried about the species and the number of birds killed, it wouldn't make any difference on dove or anything else. That's what I'm saying. Dove season should open September 1st and go through the end of February, every day, because most people aren't even hunting them now, anyways.
Right.
And then we could do it in the afternoons if we had, we do a lot of afternoon dove hunting, but teal season should open when teal season opens and should stay open until the middle of October. Because most blue-winged teal in our country, in that 3-week period, after that, those birds are in Colombia or South America or Mexico, and nobody hunts them anyways.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's always been a 2-week season.
No, it's 3 weeks now. They've extended it a week.
By 1 week.
But you could extend it for 5 more weeks or 4 more weeks, and there wouldn't be that many. I'm just saying that the number of birds going back to nest wouldn't be much different, I don't think.
Right. But I also get in Minnesota where you would want to hunt in September and not have to wait until late September to hunt ducks. So I get that also.
But how many? Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, when I first got in the hunting business, those guys would call me in December, or 1st of December, like, hey, are y'all killing a bunch of birds? Yeah. Well, we're froze up here. We don't have anything. We want to come down there and go hunting. And that was pretty normal. Well, nowadays, guys are crazy to leave the Dakotas. If you want to shoot mallards, stay in the Dakotas and hunt all the way through Christmas if you can, because they have birds now.
When I started with you, when I started at, I'd come and work up here at St. Paul Pass, and they'd hire me from September till the first week of November. Because after that, it was froze up and you couldn't hunt. And I've seen years where it's December up here sometimes, and there's still open water.
We start hunting the first weekend in November. We have duck hunters the weekend before. We got one group of duck hunters that weekend, Halloween weekend Andy has. And then we start hunting geese the first weekend in November, and we are going to go balls to the wall from then because we have the birds here. Monday and Tuesday, we'll have 10,000 speckle bellies here Monday or Tuesday.
Right.
With it 59 degrees. And we may have more than that. We may have 20,000 birds here. But those birds will come on the calendar and it's gotten cold. But we didn't, back when you worked for me, we didn't have the speckle belly numbers like we do now. We had Canada we were waiting for the Canadas to get here, and we usually would start about the second weekend in November is when you would start. Is that about right, David?
Yeah. They'd literally show up about the same time I did.
And then we would, and because y'all had Thanksgiving dinner with us every year.
Yeah. With tar water.
Yeah. Well, they had, they quit doing that a long time ago, but I forgot about that. That's when Scott and them came here, and they sent all their wives to spas and stuff, and the guys come out here and they had a big dinner. Those are some good times.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of fun. Nice people.
But it was a gradual ramp up until all the Canadas got here. Now, I mean, like Jeff said, next Monday and Tuesday, we're going to see a big influx of speckle bellies, and I mean, we can start hunting right away.
We could start hunting next Thursday. We could hunt. I could do a goose hunt today. There's a cornfield hill that's got enough birds on it to hunt. You get 2 volleys, that'd be it. But
shoot straight, boys.
Yeah, make the most of it because there ain't no more coming.
Hey, do you remember those old bibs that you used to have? What were they called? Were they Mad Dog?
The old what?
Bibs. Were they Mad Dog?
Yeah.
Whatever happened to that company?
I don't know. Stearns. They were a Stearns is the company, and I think Mad Dog was the name of the line of bibs they had out. But yeah, they were like the. It's funny. I mentioned them the other day. I said, God, I wish I could get a set of them saddlecloth bibs like I used to have.
Yeah, they were badass. They went up really high. I like bibs that go up pretty high just because, like, the sand and all that other stuff. You don't want it going down your ass crack. So I liked them that they went they went damn near up to your shoulder blades.
Oh yeah, yep.
And they were tough and durable also.
Yeah, they were the toughest set of bibs I've ever owned, and I used to buy like 2 sets almost every year.
And they were made by Stearns.
Yeah,
they made the boat cushions and stuff.
Yeah,
yep. Same kind. That's a good company. I guess I'm sure they got bought up by one of the big conglomerates. That's
ruining everything.
No, I think I have 1 set of them bibs left in a different. It isn't in the. It's in a dark, like a timber pattern.
Because you had like what, cornfield or something like that. From what I remember.
What's that?
Yours was like what, cornfield or something like that?
Wetlands.
Wetlands. That's right. I wish.
And then it had, it'd been in that sand for so many years. It had that red tint to it. So, I mean, it blended in perfect.
Yeah. I lost my train of thought of what I did.
Camouflage, cornflage.
Oh yeah. I wish we could find some of that shit. That old green camouflage. Get some shirts made out of it.
I still have some.
You do?
But there's a bolt of it around here somewhere.
Yeah, but I don't know. The shirts that you had made were like this thick material.
Right.
And I had a shirt, and I lent it out to somebody that was hunting up in the wheat, and I don't know where the fuck it went.
I think if you go over and look
right now. No, yours, that's big.
No, in the Connex, there's some.
I still have a set of pants and shirt of that from you guys. I still have one of the original black. Remember the black? I mean, there's a picture of me. There's 1,000 of them. And me in a black Stanfield sweatshirt, not a hoodie, just a sweatshirt. I still have that sweatshirt. My wife wears it at least once or twice a week.
That's the one Mom has, I bet. She wears it. The neck's all ripped out.
She wants.
Oh yeah, it's seen better days, but oh my God, it's 25, 30 years old.
Michelle wants to redo the hoodie. I had a guy this weekend ask for a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
He goes, "You just have sweatshirts?" And Michelle goes, "We need to do sweatshirts again." I said, "Well, you're in charge of that. We've got so much damn stuff in our merchandise right now, and it'll all be gone, by the end of hunting season. Everything gets picked through and stuff, and we've got a ton of stuff now, but she wants to do just a hoodie. I mean, not a hoodie, just a sweatshirt.
Just a sweatshirt.
The old-fashioned Stanfield
like
logo, the old school one. If I do some, I'll send you a new one, Dave.
Well, I probably need one.
You need to do the original logo, not the logo we have now.
What is the original one?
The original one that Dave has. The goose has changed on the logo.
Well, you show me the old one, and we'll get Michael to do those.
I will, Jeff. I'll show you.
I think it's more detailed now, and it's
too clean now, Dave. Just like everything else, you want that vintage look.
Well,
I'm going to do the same thing. I'm actually going to maybe make some sweatshirts, but I'm going to go with the retro camo.
Oh, I've got caps. I did retro camo caps, and they're moving like crazy off of our shop on our Facebook or our website, StanfieldHunting.com, if you want to get you an old-fashioned cap. And I just got 200 more that were shipped here today. That's the old school stuff. That's the new thing right now.
Yeah, you know what? That's what kids want nowadays.
Yeah.
That's,
the old shit that I couldn't wait to get out of. I couldn't wait to get out of that stuff and get a real set of camouflage. Couldn't wait to get Max
Now everybody wants that old blotchy pattern, which it works good.
Yeah, it's good. It's a very good camo pattern. But that was my very first set of bibs, was that old school camo. And I was like, oh, fuck. I think then it was like Max 3 or something. And I could not wait to get a set of Max 3. Or Shadowgrass. Shadowgrass is what I wanted. Shadowgrass is coming back a little bit through Filson.
Oh, yeah.
I like the Bob Allen stuff that he had, the old DU camo. I got an old DU coat here that was my first Gore-Tex jacket, and I bet it's, whew, that's suckers. I wish there was money in vintage old camo clothes, because I got a ton of them. We got a...
There is,
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I'm not going to jack with having to go. I've got a Connex full of stuff. I'm telling you, I've got them. There's not a vintage hunting place out there that's got more stuff than we do that I've got stuck back. I've got everything from Sitka and all kinds of stuff that's been left here and that we've bought and used and just tons of stuff back there.
Yeah, I was the same way. I duffel bags full of different camos for down there. Oh my God. I bet I had, when I worked for you, I bet I had 10, 15 suits I'd wear.
And do you remember them failing ever? Because like now, it's always the ass either busts out or the zipper's fucked up.
Not my Mad Dog
No,
ones.
definitely not Mad Dog.
You know, some of the cheaper ones, yeah. Some of them, you know, it was so warm, they were just basically cotton. You know, there was no Gore-Tex or nothing to them. Some of that Rockaflage, that cornfield, a lot of that cornfield stuff was all, none of that was waterproof. Half the stuff wasn't waterproof.
The cornflaws, their green was really good for hunting the wheat for us.
Yeah.
Well,
we still have the green blankets.
Yeah, we have the green blankets still with their stuff. My dad loved that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Should have buried him in it.
Well, we burned him and put his ashes.
Well, that's true too. We should have put some in there when we burned him. That is the original logo.
Text that.
Yeah, no kidding. You get that one again, that pattern out there again. I don't know where anybody's got any bolts of that. Even Randy didn't have any of that.
Text me that, Andy. We're gonna run a hoodie or we're gonna run a sweatshirts with that.
And he had everything. Yeah, I wore my. I didn't realize until I got out here yesterday that we were doing you today. I wore my Flagman shirt yesterday.
Oh, that's
for
all
yesterday's podcast. So, or actually, I wore it on 2 yesterday.
Hey, did you get a chance to check out the flags?
I saw them at Game Fair.
Well, didn't Steve send you a couple?
No, I hadn't got them yet.
What came with that sweatshirt?
I don't have a clue.
Oh, I'll have to ask
you know
about
what?
That. I thought he sent you one. Maybe he hadn't
shipped me the Randy Bartz autograph flag, and it's on the wall in the pro shop. And I put it up and the T-shirt.
Oh, and then, but he hadn't shipped you a Polander or
no, not yet.
A golf handle.
If he has, Jeff's hiding it from me.
I don't like that one.
Oh.
But I like the original.
I'll ask him about it.
Yeah, ask him about it. But yeah, I got out here yesterday and Jeff said, yeah, we got Dave tomorrow. And I said, well, motherfucker, I'm wearing a shirt today. But it doesn't matter. It is a nice, I like that logo though. You're going to do more of that kind of stuff? Like with that logo on hoodies and stuff?
Yeah, actually, I think the one I'm going to do it, we're going to put on it like just the Flagman logo on the front and then make it kind of retro with that camo pattern on it. That old camo pattern we'll put on the back, killing them since 1986 or something like that. Cause that's when Randy started the flagging thing.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives it that retro little touch to it on the back and then have the Flagman logo on underneath of that.
You imagine all the geese and all the ducks and everything that's been killed over the years underneath one of his flags.
Using that technology.
It's kind of scary what, I'd kind of change that off. There's a lot of guys like Jeff Foyles. He'll tell you, I'd take a call and a flag. And he says, if you had to choose one to kill birds, it'd be the flag.
Yeah.
That's what Lee Chose was saying this weekend. We talked about the same story.
We had Lee out and he said, yeah, Jeff Foyles even tell you, give me a call or give me a choice. I can only take a call or a flag, and I'm taking the flag.
Yep.
But I mean, and I saw, your improvements at Game Fair, and y'all are really onto something because, the old flags, the rods would come out and you fixed that problem. And I really like your pole flag that you showed me there. So, I mean, you guys got a good product line.
No, we've been getting a lot more calls. It's getting out there a little more. It's a lot of that younger generation don't even know who Randy was.
Ain't that sad?
So it's basically me just starting back right over with for Randy.
It's
But that's all right. I mean, it's a good thing. It's just hard to make something you sit and wave and beat on the entire day make last. And mechanically, you just got to make it that way.
Right.
I don't expect it to last 5 years, but I expect it to last a year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to break while I'm hunting. That's that'll make you lose birds.
Right.
Do they have
the wings go flying off about the time the geese set their wings to come in?
Do they have a waterfowl Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Yep. Yep. I don't remember how many years ago. That was probably 10 years ago. He was inducted to that one down in Missouri.
Where's it at? It's in Missouri?
Missouri.
Yeah, Randy should be in there for sure.
100%.
Yeah, he is. Yep.
Yeah, if he's not in it, like nobody should be in it.
Oh, it's all guys like him and Grounds, and I mean, there's some pretty good names in there.
That is sad though, like Jeff was saying, that this younger generation doesn't even know who he was. And I mean, he invented one of the most revolutionary products that changed the landscape of waterfowl hunting.
Yes.
I mean, he made them for everybody that made flags. I mean, Grounds Crab Orchard flag was Randy's flag. He made flags for Sean Mann all them years. All them Eastern Square flags, Randy was making them for Sean.
Now,
he made a lot of flags over the years. Hell, I got half of them in my garage.
would he just let guys put their name on his product?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was his product, but they'd sell it as kind of their deal. They worked in collaboration with Randy, and it'd be Randy's flag, but it would also be promoting what put their name on it or whatever.
Right.
Still selling flags. Pretty obvious to know whose was whose. I never had anything. I mean, I tried other ones and stuff, but everybody, you'd always have the other guy that would bring his own flag or stuff like that. But all them years, I mean, I was started with Randy, so I always had Randy's stuff. I guess I never took it, we'd have to work on stuff occasionally, but nothing a roll of black tape wouldn't usually fix. And
yeah, I can remember taping my flag up often. Because, you tape the ends up. That way they wouldn't work themselves out. And then you knew it was time for another flag by about the end of the hunt.
Or, it was part of that was that wooden doll going through there, and it would wear back and forth. And, eventually, two hard things rubbing together one's going to wear out.
Mm-hmm.
That's why that rubber tip thing, I think, is the last or makes it work so much better too. It takes all the shock of that fiberglass rod, and rubber stretches. It doesn't wear out,
Yeah. Well, you said it perfectly. It's something that you're beating the piss out of for 3 hours or however long you're out in the field. Like, you're doing nothing but pounding on this piece of equipment. And I mean, it's just getting 5 years out of something that you're just abusing is not realistic, but it can go a year.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, I got stuff I've been using 2-3 years. The hardest one are the pole kites, and and they're probably the most effective. But you got 9 or 10 feet of pole, or some of them, some of the times I was running 20 footers.
Yes.
You put laying that out there, a few of them are going to get broke. I hear half of the ones they get slammed in the door.
I can see that.
Up their truck. I mean, the golf handle ones, go ahead, slam them in the door. You hardly can't hurt them anymore.
Yeah, or somebody steps on them out in the field, and then
it don't hurt them. I mean,
doesn't?
Yeah, I mean, as far as toughness, it's hard to beat that golf handle thing. But the pole kite's probably, you have a little more options on lighter winds. If it's super windy, I don't run a big pole anyway because they flop too much then. And then you stretch them and so they don't flop if it's real windy. But
so do a lot of people still run that up there? Because I don't see it down here.
Yeah, around here apparently they do. I don't suppose they see me do it. I guess. The pole kite thing I think is actually getting to be a little bigger thing. I don't know if Randy promoted it a lot, but the pole kite thing, to me, you get a 15, 20 mile an hour wind. You can't really find anything that looks more realistic than that.
Right.
And then you're adding another layer of realism to your spread that you're not just on the ground, you're adding that bird that's floating coming into your set, and that's just one more line of realism that bird make them to believe.
Well, and if the guys in your area are not doing these things, it's an easy way to set yourself apart, and it's pretty inexpensive. And like you said, it's going to add another element and another layer of realism to the birds that are in the air, because now all of a sudden they don't see that bird that's on the ground that's flapping its wings that they saw 3 spreads ago. They're seeing the one spread that's it looks like a bird coming in. So why not set yourself apart and get this piece of equipment and just add another tool to your arsenal?
Well, and I've had a couple of the guys, they've used some of the other flags. I'm going to go meet a guy tonight on his way to Canada, and they just ordered six pole kites for to go up into Canada, and I'm supposed to meet them on their way here.
That'll be good.
And
we see something now.
Yeah, I finally seen some birds. I'm just making sure they're kind of working the east shoreline.
What are they doing? What kind of birds?
I can't. They look like divers. They were too far to tell exactly what they were. They look like divers, though.
See, I would be screwed if I had to figure out how to hunt divers. I would just hunt like a regular duck, and then I'd probably screw me.
Yeah, probably my favorite diver story was on the Bettis waterhole.
There were divers there?
Yeah, I had a group one time. We were there, and we shot some mallards and some widgeon and some geese, and I'm sitting there, and I don't know if you remember these guys. I remember they were military guys. Do you remember that group, Jeff? I mean, this would have been 90s.
Was this the Goof Troop?
I think they were all from the
Army.
the
Goof Troop.
They were a really good group.
Yep, that's the Goof Troop.
And they were kind of full of it. They kind of like to pick on each other and everybody else. And we got in there, and we were sitting there, and we shot a few birds, and I heard this over the back of our head, and it was 40 redheads.
Wow.
And they spun around the Bettis waterhole, and they come in, and we killed like 12 of them. And most of them were all drakes. And I walked out in front of them, and I says, "Oh my God, guys, you just killed probably 12 of the last 40 devil ducks." And I says, they're almost extinct. And they were getting almost pale looking, like, "Oh my God, what are we going to do, Dave?" "Well, I'm going to probably have to call the game warden in." And then I started laughing because they knew I was full of shit then. But oh my God, for about 5 minutes, I had them going there like, "Oh my God, devil ducks. I've never heard of them." Like, yeah. Oh God, they were all scared. Like, "Oh, we're going to jail, boys. This is bad. I'm surprised the game warden ain't here already." I says, "There's probably only 40. This was probably the last 40 living in the world, Oh, they just were, "Oh my God, sorry, Dave." Like, I was the one that called the shot. First off, so it really was my fault if they, it would have been that instant, and it wasn't. But
did
they all go, God, I still remember them guys. Just one guy went from kind of really nice color to just pale.
there goes that promotion.
Like, oh my! I started laughing, and then they kind of like, "What are they really now, you fucker?" So, that's always kind of little things that make it fun too over the years.
Did they ever catch those guys or whoever it was that shot those whoopers in Oklahoma?
No,
Never?
not that I'm aware of. I think that'd be big news.
Did you see that, Dave?
No, I never heard about that.
I can't remember how many whoopers
They killed
did they?
three, I
Three or
think.
four?
I think 3.
3 or 4 whooping cranes on a
What,
place.
they think they were sandhills? Was it over hunting season?
Yeah, it was last December in Oklahoma somewhere.
Last November.
Was it November?
Yeah, our name was even put up in the mix.
Why? We weren't even there.
That's what I told the guy. I was like, "What nothing to do with that?" First of all, we ain't that fucking stupid. First,
I don't know.
I think an outfitter up there was trying to throw everybody else under the deal. I was like, "We ain't even up there. We ain't that stupid to shoot a fucking whooping crane."
Jeff. There's
That's just somebody.
You think
trying
we're
to-
that stupid, huh?
there's just ignorance
blame-
everywhere.
No. Our dumbest guy ever is not shooting a white fucking crane. Especially where they did it. They shot him.
It was on like a refuge, wasn't it?
They shot him out of a boat. I think they drove their boat up on him and shot at him. I don't know all the details.
Big old
but-
snow goose out
But
there,
then
bub.
then they thought it was an outfitter that did it, and then I don't, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. Them fuckers can't find anything on Hunter Biden's laptop. Why the fuck they could find that? But they put a lot of resources into that stuff and track cell phones and everything, and they thought they had someone caught. But last I heard, they did not caught anybody. Whoever did it, if you're listening to this podcast, if you hunt in Oklahoma, there's probably a pretty good chance you do. You're a dumbass. First, and if you hadn't got caught, you're lucky as shit.
Yeah,
If you got by with that, you're damn lucky.
because that's a hefty fine. But didn't we figure out it was like $100,000 a bird or some shit like that?
Whoever it was would have probably spent 5 years in federal prison and probably fined $300,000 or $400,000.
Could you imagine that's what you're in federal prison for? Like you're around bank robbers and like just bad people. What are you in for, little guy? I shot a bird.
Yeah,
Shot a whooping crane.
Shot a whooping crane. Totally on the endangered species list, and I just shot that fucker.
what'd you do? I hacked into NASA. I stole $2.4 million out of a Loomis armored car. What'd you do?
What'd you do to get here?
I shot a whooping crane.
Right in the head. So don't fuck with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't mess with whooping cranes and devil ducks.
Yeah, that's right. But Dave, we appreciate you being on here, bud. I want you to get back to your hunting. Hopefully one of these days you'll come down and see us. If you do, you need to bring Junior with you.
He's been in my pocket anytime that I mean, even when I got clients, he wants to go, but I can't do that every day. But he's got to go quite a bit. He wants to come.
When did you get him started blowing calls and stuff? Or did he just kind of always have them and
About
tinker with them?
8 or 9.
Yeah.
He sticks with it. With the other, all 3 of them try, but he sticks with it a little harder than the other 2 do. And he definitely shows that he does.
Well, that's what I've got to figure out is when to get my oldest into it. I mean, he's got the calls and everything, but I got to figure out like when the right time is for. And I'm not going to sit down with him for very long. I'm
kind of finding out it's when their friends think it's cool.
Well, nobody here hunts, so he's going to have to come about it all on his own.
That's why my oldest didn't really care much about it right away, but he had a lot of kids in school that loved to hunt, and the first couple of times he really didn't really care much about it, and then I took him and a couple of his buddies a couple times where he got to shoot a couple geese, or the geese were landing right on the pit, and got to see it was actually fun.
Yeah. I've got to figure out how I'm going to play it.
It ain't always about how much you kill. It's kind of the chirometry and everything else that's, of the hunt. And I like the 2 buddies I got out here. God, I'm kind of sorry we're not seeing a lot. You know what? Our stress levels were way up there and they're like way down here right now. I don't care. This is like really neat, to even just be here and do this. So, and I kind of feel that way, but I like to shoot some birds. I want to shoot a few birds every day, but me, if I can't, I'd like to come in with a limit by 9:00 if I can.
That's how I am. Whenever I take friends out, it's like, oh fuck, I really hope this happens. But they're just like, I don't care. Like I'm here, and that's.
I mean, I don't care if I shoot anything, but I want them to shoot some stuff.
Right. We did get up at 4 to do this, so like I want the payoff to be there for you.
I wake up at that every day now, but I have to. Pretty much, I don't get many days off. this time of year, so it's all right.
That's a good problem to have. But I've got to figure out how
Yeah,
I'm going
it
to play
ain't
it
bad.
with Reese because I didn't have I had a couple lessons from you guys, but for the most part I learned how to call just from listening to you guys and being out there.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I tell mine. I said, even listening to other birds, I always tell mine, I says, shit, if nothing else, listen. I says, there ain't nothing that can beat the live bird
No.
as far as I says, you can sound like anybody you want to on the internet, but I says, if you don't sound like a real goose, it really don't do you much good.
Yeah.
I mean, every goose sounds a little different, but you can tell if the guy's really goosey or not. Makes a difference.
Yeah, 100%. All right, Bubba, we're gonna let you get back to it. Hopefully, we see you this winter. If we don't, we'll see you at Game Fair next year.
You guys are coming up again?
Yeah, we'll come up second weekend again.
We had a great time. I think I may come both weekends.
Oh, look at you.
I may come up with Mom the first weekend, and we may stay all week up there, and then she fly back when Andy flies in, and then hang out with Andy.
Well, look at Jeff.
Well, you're welcome to do the same thing.
Jeff, I got one idea for you that, maybe you should be selling Stanfield cookies all over the country and have Michelle start making cookies and selling them.
I love my wife to death, Dave, but let me tell you something. I'm in business with her at this, and I have to deal with her for 4 or 5 months a year. That's 12 months. Hell no. Unless some big cookie company wants to come in and take her recipe and make them and do all that shit, I'm out on that deal.
You could do it.
Do what?
Just you make the batter, you make the dough, box it up, and then ship it. It's that simple.
Okay, well, you tell your mom. You and her get in on that collaboration together.
No,
See, that's the same as me.
Listen, you can talk to her, Jeff. Nobody else can talk to her.
I helped put out Halloween decorations yesterday. I love my wife to death, but God Almighty, she's got some pit bulldog in her sometimes.
Yeah, you got to do the Halloween decorations just right.
Just the little things, Do you not remember we do it this way every year? Well, fuck no, I don't remember where this exact sign went on the stuff. I thought, Jesus, I mean, then this is the funny thing. I put a rebar in the ground, and we put this decoration around it. And she goes, it needs to come back. I said, which way? It needs to go to the south more. I said, okay, just let me do it. So she takes it. I pull it up. She takes it. She moves it north. It needs to go south. She moves it north.
Well, she doesn't know her directions.
6 inches. And she has it kind of slightly in there. She goes, no, that way it'll do better in the wind. I go, are you serious? She goes, what? I said, well, first of all, that's not south. Second of all, it needs to be at an angle like that because the wind. I know. I deal with these all the time. I said, whatever. I dealt right then. I figured out I can't win in this shit. So I was just yes, ma'am, and yes, dear the whole time. And and then when we get done with this shit, we start with fucking Christmas lights. And I absolutely hate Christmas lights. I mean,
Your little lights are not twinkling, Clark.
Yeah. I come home one day, and she's in one strand on the side of our house. A 4-foot section wasn't working. Well, that just looks ghetto, Jeff. Okay?
Turn them off.
Just turn them off. We just won't even have them on. If that sounds good to me. Turn them fuckers off, Then the next morning, I'm up there trying to get somebody to fix my fucking lights. I pay a guy to put my lights up and take them down so I don't have to jack with them. I hate Christmas.
You kind of remind me of Clark Griswold in the Christmas one there.
Oh,
I know it.
Over there at your house.
We don't put out as much Christmas stuff. We have more Halloween stuff now than we do Christmas stuff, thank God, because we don't put any Christmas yard decorations up anymore.
I remember it was the guide's job to do Christmas lights. There was a lot of years we'd all get up on the roof together.
I do remember helping put up Christmas lights more than
once. Y'all were the first group to do it. Y'all set a tradition, and now I pay.
All broken.
Now I pay a guy to do it, and he comes and does it, and I don't have to jack with it. And I let Michelle talk to him about it. We could put Christmas lights up tomorrow, so I wouldn't have to jack with them, and November would be okay with me. Because I'm telling you, I hate Christmas. I don't even like looking at them on somebody else's yard anymore. They got that much. It's just a miserable situation.
Ruined it.
It has. I hate them. Oh,
but I do. I remember being up on the roof with you guys.
Yeah. The guys would come over and do Christmas decorations right before Thanksgiving, and we'd turn them on Thanksgiving night.
I don't know how we ever got anything done.
And then all the people in town, back then, Knox City had 3 times or 4 times as many kids, and people drive by, and they'd get out and take their pictures, and they do the Halloween stuff now. And, Michelle used to, people just love it. I don't give a shit. I hate it.
What a Scrooge.
I'm telling you, the older I get, the more I hate Christmas stuff.
Just a Scrooge asshole. That's all he is. God.
Everybody give each other a Christmas card, have a big dinner, and go take a nap. Would be perfect. Dave, I love you, man. Good to see you. Good talking to you again. I'll see you in at least by August of next year if I don't see you before then.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hopefully January or
That'll work.
the end of December when our season's done. I'll load up and come down that
Do
way.
it. And if people want to buy your flag, do we have a website? How can people get a hold of you to get a flag?
You can just search it at flagman.com.
Easy enough.
Or Flagman Legacy Products. Either one.
Easy enough. All right, bud. We're going to let you get back to it. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you, bud.
The great Dave Reese.
Oh, boy, he was a killing machine.
The goose god.
I'm surprised the state of Minnesota has not banned him from hunting.
Yeah, I don't know how he still buys a license there. Figure they would have got wise to it by now, but they have not.
He is a killing machine.
He is.
Sure. The one and only.
As he didn't kill anything today.
Nope.
We all, listen, Superman every once in a while, Superman steps on his cape.
He said he killed a goose.
Superman steps on his cape every once in a while. It happens.
If I had to have a list, oh, Siri jumped in again. There's something I say, she jumps out all the time. I would honestly say on my list he would be number one, best killer I've ever had. And I've had some great guys work for me, lots of good guys, but he is up there big time.
That old Hunt Proof app. We're going to see who your number 2 is this year.
You know, I've got a lot of people who've got on the Hunt Proof app that have made me friends, but nobody is. Buy the service. It costs you $10 a freaking year or $5 a month or whatever it is. I can't remember what it is. Buy the damn thing and log in and put all your journals there. It's the way to go.
I don't understand. I thought that the free version did everything. That there were some minor, you can do dogs and stuff on the paid version.
Oh, well, buy the damn thing.
Like, what do you, I don't understand what you're not seeing. Out
well,
of these people.
I see people's stuff all the time. Like I just had 2 people just request me as a friend on Hunt app.
Okay.
And I signed up to them, but nobody has anything wrote in their journals.
Well, maybe they're not hunting yet.
Well,
I'm on there.
Hunting.
I'm on there.
I don't have you as my friend either, you dickhead.
I'm not adding you.
Why?
I don't want you to see where I'm hunting.
I'm going to add you right now because I've never added anybody anyways. Just confirm.
I don't even. I was going to wait until, because I've still got to upload. Oh, I've got my picture uploaded.
Add new friend. Search.
Oh, Lord. I need to get back on here. I've got a lot of friend requests.
You dickhead.
Oh, my goodness. So if you're listening to this, I have not. Jeff Stanfield wants to be. That's a decline. That is a decline right there. I set this up and I have not been back into it. So I'll get around to all that after a while. I just don't have anything to say on there. Kind of like Lee chose. If I don't have something to say,
you're not saying, you just put down your stuff.
I don't have anything. I don't have any stuff to put down until November. Until I
just added Mike Hurt. Anyways, if you're out there, Mike Hurt. Oh. If you're on, get on Hunt Proof and look me up. Jeff Stanfield, good looking sumbitch wearing a cocksucker cabbie hat and a red flannel shirt, and it's got my new T-shirt that's coming out late year. Coming out there is my logo. Get on there and do it. But they're going to add dove to it too.
Right. That'll be good. But in 2 weeks, when I start hunting again, that's when I'll get active on there.
So you're not going to add me as a friend?
You're in limbo right now. We'll figure this out later.
I'm in limbo. Okay. Anyways, Hunt Proof app. I like it. It's got the weather on it. It's got everything on it. It's just way to go. I'm telling you right now. We got a north wind right now. Yeah, we do.
What's our migration predictor, hunt predictor?
You know, I have not looked at the bird forecaster.
Yeah.
I want to see how many birds come in because that's a really interesting app also. Or not app.
We're on a good outlook today.
Birdcast. Search Knox County, Texas. And I'm telling you people, someone's going to message me and they're going to ask because anything we talk about, some birdcast.info is what you want. And it's got all of the, you can go on there and you can search, and it's got migration dashboard that can show you how many birds went through your. We had 710,000 birds come across last night
in our area.
And they were widgeon, green-winged teal, ruddy duck, rails, something I can't say, yellow-bellied sapsucker, golden kinglet, marsh wren, white-crowned sparrow, swamp sparrow, a meadowlark, and a Tennessee warbler.
Can't beat the old Tennessee warbler.
No, but we got widgeons, green-winged teal, and ruddy duck. I did see a bunch of new big ducks behind the lodge this morning. I don't know what they were, but I'm assuming it's probably gadwalls.
I just confirmed Mike Hurt.
All right. But you didn't confirm me, you dickhead. All right, y'all.
I don't want you stealing my shit.
Thank y'all for listening to us. We appreciate it. And God bless y'all and have a great... When's this coming out? Is this coming out this week?
No.
This will come out Monday? All right. Well, y'all have a great, wonderful week then. Thank you.
Go check out our sponsors. Go check out Ducks Unlimited, Double T British Kennel, Dirty Duck Coffee, Big Honker save 15%. Stanfield Hunting Outfitters. All they need to shut the hell up. Banktail Whiskey, Alpha Outdoor Specialties, maker of the Stanfield Store, Looking Glass Podcast. Go to their Patreon account, get subscribed to their podcast. Lucky Duck Shin Gear Waders, Gundog Outdoors, Pacific Calls, BHP 25, Dive Bomb, and Boss Shot Shells.